Welcome to the Art Piece Experiment. We're your hosts, two artists and friends. I'm Tasha.
And I'm Brianna.
At the end of 2024, we decided we wanted to cultivate more safety, peace, love, alignment, and excitement through our art and our art practices.
So here we are sharing our journey with you, and we're so excited you're here. We hope you enjoy our conversations. They're honest, raw, just two friends talking to each other about the realities of life and creativity. We're so excited for you to join us and be along with us for the journey.
Last week, we started watching a show that you may or may not have heard of. This is a little story called Pride and Prejudice. And it's brilliant.
So good. I mean, no words even to describe my love for this movie and book and story.
Yeah, it's newer for me. I mean, I know it's a classic, guys. Okay, I get it, but it's newer. It's newer for me. I didn't experience it until after I was a grown up.
Yeah, and I don't remember not knowing this. It's been like my whole life.
I mean, no, I haven't always known about it, but I can't remember a time not knowing about it.
Yeah,
because it's just like talked about. But anyways, it's great. I love it.
So good.
Yeah, my first time watching it was the newer one with like Keira Knightley. I didn't love it. Like aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah.
Love that
Music,
part of it.
just
Yeah.
stunning.
Yeah. The story pacing was just so off for me though, and
Yeah, it just doesn't
characters.
compare
No,
to
so
the BBC.
yeah, that's the one we're watching right now. It's the BBC one, and it's brilliant, and I love it. And I have to talk about it a little bit because
Yes.
I love how the relationship in this story is like you have these two characters that influence each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like we'll often talk about like, oh, they change each other, which is not what's happening. They influence each other and they realize like, oh, I have something to work on and I'm going to change myself or I'm going to grow is more what's happening. It's not a change so much as a growth. And I love that. I love that about the story. I feel like that's one of the reasons it's such a classic and is so timeless.
Right, because they don't change for one another, but they see each other's perspectives and then they become better for it. They become more compassionate and they understand others better and they want to grow and become better themselves because of interacting with this other person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So good.
So now, segue here, I want to start talking about that in terms of our art. Okay? Our art, our creative practice is Mr. Darcy.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
We want to fall in love with Mr. Darcy, okay? It's inevitable.
Yes.
So, what points of pride and prejudices are getting in the way of us falling in love with our creativity?
Whoa. Okay. I did not know we were going to talk about this today. And I am delighted. I love this.
I do too. I was like, we have to.
Surprise.
We have to. And then in my head, it's been like this joke with myself. It's like inside joke with myself. I'm going to let you in on it. That I should just start naming every art piece I make Mr. Darcy because then every woman will want it. Just marketing tip right there.
Yes. Perfect. Done. You're already sold.
Already sold. It's a done deal. Yeah, but anyways, I want to talk about like those limiting beliefs
Yeah.
that get in our way that sometimes we don't even realize are there.
Yeah, just like the prejudice, that you don't even realize you have until somebody points it out to you. You're like, oh, maybe I do struggle with that, with the pride. Because I think that's all that's the whole begining of Darcy and Elizabeth's relationship, is them kind of pointing out each other's flaws to each other.
Yeah.
And they didn't like it.
Well, no. It's hard when someone points out your flaws.
Yeah.
But I feel like we have that with our creativities. There's a lot of that kind of negativity and stopping ourselves from seeing the good things.
Yeah, right. That's so interesting. I love that perspective, and I love thinking of our creative practice a, as a way to, how do I say that? Like, as a way to maybe see ourselves a little more clearer,
Mm,
and come back to ourselves in our truer best version of ourselves.
yeah.
And then also to have just so much love and joy in the
Mm,
creativity and the process.
yeah.
Ah, so good.
Okay, so I'm going to share one of mine.
Okay.
One of my things. And this is like I feel like the big one
Hmm.
or one of the big ones, and that
Mm-hmm.
is perfectionism.
Mm-hmm.
And that stopped me from creating for so many years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, have I overcome it? No. But am I at a point in my life where I can create despite it? Yes.
Yeah. Now it's like, okay, I see you,
Mm-hmm.
perfectionism. I see that you're here, and I'm not going to let you drive anymore.
Right.
I'm gonna recognize that you're there and you have input and you have part in the conversation sometimes, but
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make decisions because of you.
Yeah. So, how do we do that? How do we get to that point that we can say, okay, limiting belief, I see you, but you don't
Yeah.
control me anymore?
Oh, so good. This is, I feel, a lifelong pursuit, first of
Oh,
all.
yeah,
It
100%.
is.
We are onions, okay? Or cake.
Or
We're
cake.
onions.
Everybody loves cake. Yeah, it is really hard to even start this process, and it is
Hmm.
not an overnight thing.
No.
I feel like this has been something that I've been trying to do for a long time, just in other areas of my life too,
Yeah.
recognizing, limiting beliefs, or, emotion, even recognizing when I'm feeling certain emotions, can be
Yeah.
hard. It's that self-awareness. It really starts with self-awareness
Mm.
and practicing that. And so, how do you practice self-awareness? What do you do?
What do you do?
You first decide that you want
Want
to.
to. Yes, yes. And I mean, just realizing like, oh, I have limiting beliefs around this.
Yeah,
I have these prejudices and sometimes pride and
right.
the other things that are stopping it's like this is stopping my pursuit to thriving.
Mm, yeah.
And I don't even realize that it's sometimes you just don't even realize it's happening.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like being able to recognize that it's happening, recognize that you have a limiting belief,
Hmm.
comes from taking that pause
Yeah.
and kind of digging a little deeper when there's resistance to whatever you want to do. If you're wanting to be creative, but then there's an instant block. So, like, if you have that desire and that urge, if something sparks your interest and that light inside of you, and you're like, oh, that sounds so fun, then
Mm.
instantly those walls go up. Oh, but I couldn't do that. That's
Yeah.
somebody else. Oh, I that's not for me, or something like
Mm.
that. I could never do anything like that. Those are your indicators, your road signs,
Yeah.
as you're driving along, that tell you there's a block there. There's
Right.
some sort of limiting belief.
Yeah.
And so it's first recognizing when those thoughts come up, right?
Yeah.
And saying, "Oh," taking a little pause and stepping back and looking at that a little bit, saying,
Yeah.
"Whoa, I had that spark and then
Mm.
instantly shut it down. What is that? Why?" Getting
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah. This is not a place to beat yourself up. This is a place to just get curious
Exactly.
and dig into it a little bit. Like, where
Hmm.
are the roots?
Where's that coming from? Is it from
Mm.
things that I've been told my whole life, growing up? Is it um, just, have I experienced something that's made it feel scary?
Mm.
What is it? What go back as far as you need to go back. And
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times it goes back into childhood. That's where
Oh, yeah.
so much
That's where a
stems
lot of
from.
our limiting
Yeah.
beliefs stem from. Yeah.
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 Which, I think it happens for everybody. and
Hmm.
and it's because as children, we have our brains are developing still and we don't understand a lot of the times, and we can take
Yeah.
things in certain ways and then they carry with us throughout.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes limiting beliefs come from very innocent,
Mhm.
innocent,
Well-meaning.
well-meaning things. So
Yeah.
like our parents do, it's like not even necessarily bad, but just the way that we took it
Right. Right.
creates this like life, almost lifelong. We can change, like our brains, we can change, which is awesome.
Right.
So not necessarily like lifelong, but at this point feels like lifelong
Right.
belief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, up to this point
Oh,
lifelong,
yeah,
right?
exactly. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes things do happen that are negative, and somebody says something mean to us, and things like that. But
Mm,
it doesn't always have to be something big or mean
no, it
or
doesn't. It
traumatic.
doesn't. And
Some
sometimes there's more than one thing
Yeah,
that makes it like with perfectionism.
it's layered.
I've got, things that happen with my family, things that happen with just society and culture and like
Right.
starting public school and
Right.
it's like it is layered and um there are different fears and issues that come up that it's like, oh, I have to be perfect to be safe. I have to be perfect um to stay, connected with family because, if it's not perfect, no one will buy it. I won't make money. I'll be a starving artist. I'll the blah blah blah. Like it just like goes on and on and on and on
Right.
and on. None of those things are true,
Mhm.
which, is part of dissolving this is like, getting curious about it and then
Right.
getting really real about it. Um, and being really gentle with yourself and just like, what, it makes sense
Mhm.
that I felt that way or I feel this way. It makes sense. I don't like validating certain things to the point of like it's okay that I feel this way because
Right.
like it's not okay that I think I have to be perfect in order to create.
Right.
I don't want to tell myself that's okay, but it does make sense.
There's a difference between validating your feelings and justifying your feelings. And
Yes.
I feel like when we validate them, we recognize them, we see them, and we say, you know, we accept them, right?
Right.
And without shame.
Yes.
And when we justify, um, we're trying to come up with a reason why we should stay in that
Yeah.
feeling, right?
Yeah.
And not grow and grow out of it, right?
Right.
Grow and become better or face it
Yeah.
even. And so, yeah, there's definitely that difference to be mindful of when we're
Hmm.
coming at that,
Right.
you know.
Having that understanding. Yeah. Ugh, that's so good. That's so good. Um, yeah, so with the art piece experiment, we've got the three different sides to it. Create, align, and connect.
Yeah.
Those are like the main ones. And we're this is kind of just a theory, a hypothesis. Whoa, can't speak. Hypothesis of overcoming a lot of these limiting beliefs and our blocks and like finding our blocks. Like that's a lot of what this experiment is, and we really wanted to build into it the mindfulness side of it, and then like the physical side of it of actually creating and like taking steps forward,
Yeah.
and then the connection, realizing we need connection, we need community, we need other people,
Support. Hmm.
support. Yep. And those three things working together are what really helps train our nervous system to like build creativity back into our lives and make it a safe space and like okay for us to have again.
Yeah.
um and so that first step of it is really the align side of it
Hmm.
when it comes to journaling, when it comes to the mindfulness side, and like first we want to be like, okay, this is real, like this is a
Yeah.
real block, this is a, and it like this happens. um
This is what I'm feeling.
this
This
is
is
what I'm
what's
feeling.
happening. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what are my blocks? What are the root of my blocks? Being gentle with that.
What do I
What do I
want,
want?
really? And without, like, if I didn't have the blocks, what would I want
Yeah,
to be doing? You know?
exactly.
That
Exactly.
I feel like that can be a really hard thing too, to just
Hmm.
it can be kind of scary in
Yeah.
some ways to open yourself up in that way to think about what you actually really want.
And it doesn't have to be like the big lifelong pursuit of like, this is who I am and
Hmm.
what I want. Sometimes it can just be like the next little thing.
Right. Like, I want to make handmade cards for
Yeah.
my friends and my
Yeah.
family. Like, I think that would be really fun to do.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes it can feel really scary to even entertain that thought
Mm-hmm.
because of whatever block we have up that has told us that it's not safe, it's not acceptable, people will make fun of us, or they'll think we're weird, or like whatever it
Yeah.
is. It can be scary to even yeah, take that
To
first
even
step
take
of
we can speak today. It's
yeah.
fine. It's all good.
The first step of connecting with ourselves in that way, in the real
Yeah.
honest raw way.
Right. Right.
Because I feel like we kind of hide from ourselves a lot of the time because we put
Yeah.
those blocks up and we put up that we have to be a certain way to in order to be liked, so we can't even connect with ourselves,
Mm.
we can't even um, bring that up in our own minds because it's
Mm-hmm.
like that's not acceptable
Yeah.
for whatever reason,
For
right?
whatever reason. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right there, a limiting belief.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so that is kind of, yeah, one of the first places to start is
Yeah.
what do you want to
It's
do?
it's
It doesn't,
essential.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like take the pressure off. It doesn't have to be the big lifelong dream. Like you don't have
Yeah.
to be the world famous card maker. You can just be like, I want to make cards. Like, great, that's
Right.
beautiful.
You don't
Do
have
it.
to be a concert pianist, but if you want to learn how to play a few songs, that's great. Or like,
Yeah, and just like
yeah.
follow that, those like little whispers of just joy and
Hmm.
curiosity and fun.
Yeah. Let
You're
yourself
you're
daydream. It's
allowed,
okay to
yeah,
daydream.
to
Yeah.
daydream, and then you're allowed to have fun, and you're allowed
Yeah.
to, you know, have some whimsy in your
Yes.
life
Yes.
and just follow what delights you. Like you are allowed to have that. And if that is your first limiting belief that you're not allowed to have that, go like go work on
Yeah.
that. Go journal
I
about
mean,
that.
yeah, we have this one life, right? We have
Hmm.
limited time. Nobody knows. And maybe that's a little morbid, but sometimes that really helps me put things into perspective when I'm feeling those limiting
Mm,
beliefs, when I'm like, I
yeah.
can't, I have to do whatever else I have to do. I'm not allowed to daydream, and I'm not allowed to have whimsy and delight in my life. I just have to get
Right.
to work and do whatever things I need to do. Um, Putting it into perspective of, you know, this life is meant to have joy. Like what's the point? what what's the point of living if we're not going to enjoy it, right?
Yeah.
No, that doesn't sound good. But
I mean, no, but I mean, it's true. Like I feel like we're meant to have joy. We're meant to have connection. We're meant to have, like we're not meant to be these solitary creatures that just hustle our way through life.
right, right.
And that's kind of what we're told to do. And it's like if you if you want to have fun, you're just frivolous and silly and
Yeah. Wasting time.
yeah, like living in some fantasy world and you're not being realistic. Like it's just, oh, no. You're allowed you're allowed to seek and have joy
Right.
and fun and and thrive.
You're allowed to enjoy your life.
Hmm.
You're allowed to enjoy your life and to delight in the things around you and to have things that delight you
Yeah.
and to do things that delight you. It's not all about hard work. And there are times where you just have to put your head down and get to work,
Oh,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
But I feel like even amidst that, you can still find delight and find joy and find those glimmers in your life even when things are hard, even when things aren't going your way,
Hmm.
and even when you have to work and work and work and work just to survive,
Yeah.
right? Even when you're
Right.
in survival mode.
Hmm.
But life is full of joy and life is full of beauty, and I feel like that is one of our primary things about life is to is to see it, the
Yeah.
things that's what's going to make life enjoyable, especially when things are hard and dark and scary, and we don't know what's happening in the world, and like there's so many problems, right? There's so many problems.
Yeah.
And if we just sit in that, life is going to be really gloomy and really hard.
And we're not going to be able to contribute any good things
Right.
to, the world or our families or friends or,
Right. So it's
yeah,
worth it.
for
It's
sure.
worth it to see the beauty in the world. It's worth it to enjoy the beauty of the world,
Mm,
and to delight in things, and to do the things that fill you up and make you feel better,
yeah.
because you get energy from that,
Mm,
too. And that's going to help you in all areas of your life, and to do
right.
the things that you have to do. So it's kind of this full circle thing, I feel like, when we um do delight in the world and in our lives, and we find joy,
Yeah.
then it's better all the way around.
Right. Right. And that's a big limiting belief that we had to get past
Mm,
for
yeah.
ourselves. Is like, okay, we have to really try and build it into, and it's something we're still working on, of like, we are allowed to have fun and we're allowed to have joy and we're allowed to create, like, be creative beings,
Yeah.
and it's not frivolous and it's not. So we talk about that a lot, and we're going to continue probably talking about that a lot
Because we need to hear
because
it.
we need to hear
Yeah,
it. And
too.
almost every creative person I know that I
Yeah.
speak to in real life
Yeah.
needs to hear it over
Right.
and over again. So we're
Here
gonna
it is.
we're
We're
gonna
going to
keep
say
talking about that.
it.
Yeah. So I want to go back though to the example that I had of like perfectionism.
Yeah.
We're gonna use that. We're gonna go into like, okay, how do you overcome these limiting beliefs, and kind of some practical steps
Yeah.
for that?
Perfectionism is a really good example, because I feel like it's, I don't know a creative that doesn't
Doesn't
struggle
deal with
with that in some way or
perfectionism.
another.
Yeah. Yeah. And so like we said before, first you have to realize there's a problem. You have to
Right.
realize there's something there.
Step number
Um,
one.
I have a block from I can't do the thing that I really want to be doing because of
Whatever.
yeah. Um, yeah, so realizing that there is an issue. Um, and then realizing or getting really deep of why.
Yeah.
Why is this a problem? And then you have to ask yourself, like, I mean, is this true?
Yeah.
Like, is my art only worthy if it's perfect?
Hmm. Would I say that about someone
Would
else's?
I say that about someone else's? And then also, I mean, in this topic specifically, is there such thing as perfect art?
Yeah. Right.
That was like the big thing for me. I was like, oh, no, there's not. I mean, I had to take a step back and not think about my art, right?
Yeah. Right.
And I thought about the art that um, really resonated with me.
Mm.
And I'm thinking, books,
Yeah.
paintings, like a certain song. There is this interesting thing that happens with art where the artist creates it, right? They put it out into the world, and then somebody else experiences it and has like an emotional resonance with it,
Mm.
that that it can create a moment that
Yeah.
is like perfect, where
Mm.
they feel seen by themselves almost
Yeah.
through
I
that
love that.
experience. And that I think is the only kind of perfection that can be achieved with art, but we have no control over it.
Yes. Right.
The only way that can happen is if we're just let ourselves be free to create so that it can touch other people.
Yeah.
And they have to be receptive to it.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
there is no perfection
There's
in
no
art.
perfection.
You can't achieve it. You will never. And that's the beautiful thing too, is I realized, okay, I'm never going to create something perfect, and so I need to let go of that.
I just had the thought, you're never going to create anything perfect, but everything you create is perfect.
Hmm.
Just the way it is, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's kind of that paradox where it's never perfect and it is perfect just the way it is, because
yeah,
it's imperfect,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it doesn't, what is perfection anyways? Like, who
If,
decides that,
yeah,
right?
right.
Like, it
It's not
doesn't,
even real.
it's not
Not
even
a real
real.
thing.
It's not even real. So it really is this kind of I don't know, fantasy expectation that we put on ourselves that
Mm,
doesn't
right.
even have a place in real life,
I
you
just
know?
looked back at some art that I created several years ago that at the time I was so proud of. I was
Yeah.
like, this is amazing. I'm amazing. Like, this is great.
Okay, it's recording.
Oh, technical difficulties. We're back.
We're back.
I was just saying, I looked back at some art and felt like it was really fantastic. It was art that I felt really fantastic when I had made it at the
Yeah.
time. And then looking back at it, realized like, wow, it's like I kind of cringed at it. I was like, that's not as good as I remember it being or like thought that it was at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but it's kind of cool because I've come a long way to the point that I wasn't beating myself up about it.
Yeah.
And it was this moment of realizing like, oh, I've grown. Like
Mm.
I've gotten better. And, at the time I felt like I had peaked. I would never
Yeah.
achieve anything as good as that. And yet I've still grown. And I love that about creativity and just like us as human beings. It's like we always have the capacity to grow more,
Yeah, right.
which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and I was thinking there is like technical aspects to certain things, crafts or, things like
Mm,
that. There are technically correct ways to do things and, you could
mm,
be technically perfect in something. But at the same time, like who decides that too, Like it doesn't
yeah.
really um necessarily matter, I guess
Yeah.
in some I don't
And
know.
sometimes the technical perfection, it loses some of the emotion.
Right,
It
right.
loses the humanity. It loses what we resonate with.
Mhm.
Um, and so there's like there both, a little bit of both.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think there's something to be said about, crafting your skills, like honing your skills
Hmm.
and being able to do things well and being able to do things in the way that you want, like learning how to do things in the way that you want to
Right.
do them, but letting go of having to do them perfect with someone else's expectations of what perfect is, right?
Right. Right. And also realizing like, okay, I want to create a painting of this caliber.
Yes.
You're not going to sit down and just do it the first time.
Yeah, it takes so much practice and so much learning,
Yeah.
right?
So there really has to be joy in the process,
Mm.
getting
Yes.
messy, getting in there,
Yeah.
um, and realizing like the perfection can never be the goal
Yeah.
because you will never get there.
Right. It'll always let you down and it won't be enjoyable.
Yeah. And if you let that go, you're going to create better stuff anyways.
It's true. It's true. 100%. When you let go of perfectionism, you
Hmm.
end up creating even more beautifully than you do would
Yeah.
have, it happens again and again and again. And with I know it's happened for me. I know it's happened for you. I know it's happened for
Yeah.
friends and, many, many people. This is something that just is a fact. Like it just happens when we let go of the stress and let go of the perfectionism. We end up creating and we focus on the joy of the creating,
Yeah.
then the end product is always more beautiful, is always better, is
Mm,
always more enjoyable because
yeah.
it's got a part of us, right? It's
Right.
got our joy like
Hmm.
infused in it.
It does. And sometimes it doesn't even necessarily have to be joy because sometimes
Mm.
art is just, I mean, it's expression. And sometimes
Yes.
we express other emotions
What?
than joy.
You mean we're not always feeling joy all the time?
Oh man, I wish. No, but I feel like joy is one of those things that we have to seek.
Yeah.
It doesn't always just happen out of nothing. Like I've sometimes for kids, maybe, maybe. I feel like sometimes it's generated from parents helping a little
Yeah.
bit create some of that magic and joy, but also they do experience joy, and I feel like a lot of it comes from creativity. Like as a mom
Yeah.
watching my kid realizing like, oh, a lot of her joy is stemmed from just curiosity
And
and
play.
play and realizing something new or
Yeah.
connecting with another, human being. Like that's
Yeah.
where a lot of that kind of comes from.
Being open to learning and being open to not knowing how to do things, right?
Yeah, and not
Not
knowing the outcome.
Yeah, right. Letting go, they let go of that they don't have those
Hmm.
expectations to be perfect yet,
Yep, yep. And so the joy kind of comes in
It's
that. It
easier to
comes in
come.
that
Yeah.
process. And as grown-ups, that's kind of beaten out of us
Yeah.
a little bit. And we have to really choose to find that and embrace that again and
Right.
allow it into our lives. Um,
It has to be a conscious choice because
yeah.
it does. It gets kind of beaten out of us as we grow older, and we have expectations and we're responsibilities and.
Mm,
And so being able to choose joy, to choose creativity, to choose that freedom, that's huge.
yeah.
It's so powerful, and it can have such a drastic um positive influence in our lives and the way
Right.
that we feel.
Right. Yeah. So now with the perfectionism, back in the day before when I was not creating and I
Mm.
was like, I can't create because it won't be perfect. And if I never create the perfect thing, then I can't start. And if I
Yes.
don't start, I won't create the perfect thing.
Yes.
And
Yep.
anyways.
Were you inside my head too? Because that's, yep.
Yep. That happened. Um, realizing like, okay, I got real with myself.
Yeah.
Again, that's the first step. You got to just get real with yourself, realize what's blocking you. And then, was creating art more important to me than creating perfect art?
Yeah.
Yeah, clearly,
Mm.
I'm still here. It's like, yes, I want to create. I want to be creating. I want to be making art. Um, and then from there, it wasn't okay. Well, I'm going to sit down and create this masterpiece. No, okay, I'm going to sit down and I'm gonna create a little bit of room and a little bit of space in my life to work towards this goal, this dream that I want.
Yeah.
Um, and it comes in the baby steps.
Yeah.
And then as you go through that, you start creating space for it. Then you end up having kind of like this dip and like take a few steps back, where it's like,
Yeah.
I did this new scary thing, and it was like it wasn't perfect, and it wasn't a lot. And then you have to, go through the okay, you're like a little parenting yourself. Like,
Yeah.
it's okay that it wasn't perfect. That wasn't the goal. And you keep working towards, shifting the mindset, but then
Hmm.
also taking the action, and it can be just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how you start building it into your nervous system as safe, and kind of rewiring your brain and your nervous system of, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Hmm.
I start, noticing the good things in it.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes it's not like it turned out really good and it's perfect and I want to show everybody. Sometimes it's, oh, I had a few minutes to myself and
Right.
that was lovely.
Right.
Or, I just really enjoyed how the pencil felt against this paper.
Mm.
Um, and just letting yourself notice those little things that kind of improved your life, or kind of like,
We're good about it.
were good about
Yeah.
it. Um, yeah.
I feel like so often when we are kind of paralyzed by fear, which
Hmm.
perfectionism I feel like is a form of fear.
Yeah.
I feel like when we're kind of feeling paralyzed by that, what really helps is to get back into our physical senses, right? Is to
Mm.
focus on the physical senses. That can be so helpful because it gets us out of our head and
Yeah.
back into our body. And I feel like too with our brains, these limiting beliefs that we've had since, childhood,
Right.
they have created neuron pathways in our brains that
Mm.
are just automatic. Those are the freeways of our brains, right?
Hmm.
Where that's the lane that our mind always goes, our thought are used to going. And
Yeah.
so that trains our nervous system. That's where it's safe. That's where we're comfortable because that's what we've known. And anything outside of that is not safe. Danger,
Mm.
danger, right? The job of
Right.
our nervous system is to keep us safe. and to keep us connected with our tribe so that we are safe and we can survive, right? And
Mhm.
so when all of those kind of combine, it keeps us in that in our limiting beliefs, because that's all it's trying to do, is keep us safe, right? That's what our
Right.
body's trained to do and meant to do and programmed. And so um the thing is, though, is that we are not just consigned to live in that way. Like, we don't have to just stay stuck in that.
Mm.
We do have the ability to choose and to grow and to consciously make another path. I heard this a long time ago. I heard this analogy of the neural pathways in our brain, that yes, we have this 6-lane highway that we just always go down, but we can choose to step off the path, and we can go through the field in a
Mm.
new direction. And at first, it'll be just like, a little footpath. Like, we just bent the grass down a little bit and it springs back
Mm.
up, and, we'll still go down the highway. But if we keep going down that path, eventually it'll get worn down. It'll turn
Mhm.
into a dirt road, right? A little dirt path.
Mhm.
And then eventually we'll widen the road. We keep going down that path. Then we will eventually make a new six lane highway down this other way. And we it we are able to choose the path that we go. We don't have to stay on that old highway. We can make a new way. And so when I find myself uh rethinking old patterns, old habits, old thoughts, it's like, oh, that's I'm down that old highway, 6-lane highway. What's my new 6-lane highway going to be? What am I going to choose to think instead?
Mhm.
And that is so powerful, to know that we have the power to choose our thoughts and to choose our reactions, right?
Yeah.
Our responses. We don't have to just react. We can choose to respond in a way that we want to respond. And so that, I think, is something that is really hard to learn.
Yeah, right. You don't have to remain a victim of your limiting
Yeah,
beliefs, and
right.
you don't have to stay stuck.
Yeah, what?
What?
Yeah, but I feel like that's only recently being taught, and
Mm.
has
Yep.
not been a mindset in our society, in our culture.
Yeah.
It's
I,
a
I
it's a
think
new
one
way
of
of thinking.
one of the things that comes up that isn't helpful is almost that you can think yourself
Yes.
out of it, which is not true.
Right,
It's
right.
not just mindset. It's mindset plus
Action,
action.
which is why when you're in that
Mhm.
anxiety, perfectionism, fear, getting back into your body, doing those physical things, focusing on the feel of the whatever it is, the feel of the paintbrush, the feel of the beads, or what the sounds, what you're feeling, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're tasting, like,
Right.
take it back to your senses,
Mhm.
and regroup in your physical body, because that gets you out of your head, out of those cycles,
Right.
and
Yeah.
resets your nervous system a little bit. Also,
Right.
breathing really helps, breath work,
Mm.
and finding ways that can calm your physical
Mhm.
nervous system, your physical body
Yeah.
down. That helps so much. That's
Yeah.
pivotal, because when you're in that anxiety mode, a main way to get back out of it
Yeah.
is to focus on the physical.
On the physical. Or, step outside. Go be in
Yeah,
nature.
yeah.
That helps.
Huge.
That can help.
Sunshine.
That can help a lot too.
Yeah.
Um,
Exercise, moving your body. Yeah.
yep, all these things can help. And then, when you come back to it, come back to it with a fresh perspective, like
Hmm.
do those healthcare things that you need and then come back to it and when I what helped me a lot with getting out of perfectionism is, I grew up with, you'd put pencil to paper and paint to paper, and this is
Mm,
like, that's what being an artist is.
right.
And that always had me so paralyzed.
Mm,
So paralyzed. And part of it for me was I don't want to waste the paper. I don't want to waste the paints. This
Mm.
costs money. This like, you know, like that was
Right.
part of my issue. And then I got an iPad, which is hilarious because they're very expensive. So, but unlimited paper, okay,
Right.
unlimited paint. Um, and that for me helped. And then I also didn't have like a sketchbook
Mm.
where not every page had to be perfect. And I'm
Mm.
not saying this is the solution for everybody fixing their perfection. This is just my journey,
Right.
right?
Right.
It's like, oh, you know, I can make a mess on this thing and then just delete it and nobody ever has to see it and it's fine. Um, and I can get really, it gave me permission to be messy when I
Yeah.
picked up my iPad. It gave me permission to be really, really messy. And I didn't feel like I was being wasteful and I didn't, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
it helped get rid of some of the blocks that were there with the perfectionism,
Yeah.
and I could just focus on like
Mm.
one thing at a time, which for me was helpful. And then I got to a point of like I didn't want to share my art with anybody. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want anyone to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that was part of the like, oh, this isn't good enough. This isn't
Yeah.
good enough to share. Like I don't want to show it to somebody and be told that I need to focus on my math studies, you know?
Yep.
And be told like, oh, you need to get a real job. Oh, you need to focus on other things. Because especially when I was younger at the time, it wasn't even that I was trying to be an artist. I was just doing something that I enjoyed.
Right.
And so then that immediate response of like, oh, you should focus on something more practical was
Mm-hmm.
just devastating because I just wanted them to
Enjoy it with you?
enjoy it with me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, some of the first times I experienced that was with you in our
Mm-hmm.
friendship where you
Mm-hmm.
championed,
Mm-hmm.
championed it. And if it was something that I was like, I want to get better at this, can you like give me a critique? Whatever, which I took a long time to build up being able to
Yeah.
accept critiques. I still struggle with that a little bit, but
It's hard.
it's
It
hard.
is hard.
Like,
Yeah.
please come attack me. That's not what a
Sounds
critique
so
is.
fun.
But that community element of it,
Yeah.
of, oh, here's a safe person that I can share this with. Um, again, so helpful, you know?
Have a different perspective that can help me widen my perspective, like
Yes,
Darcy and
like
Elizabeth.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we really do. We help each other grow. And I love that because art really helps us grow. Our
Mm.
creativity really helps us grow. It can be our Mr. Darcy,
Yes.
like I said, of just that self-realization.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel like it can so often be a physical um representation of our inner world, right? That I feel like so many creatives, that's what happens. Maybe
mm,
even all creatives. I don't know, but um in some way or another, it's that expression of what's kind of on our soul, on our souls, like important
yeah.
to us and the way that we feel, and it's that outward expression. And so it can be that it can be a self-reflection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's a worthwhile pursuit, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, which can help us grow and learn and become better and embrace our most true and deepest parts of ourselves.
Yeah, and have more love, more joy.
Yeah.
Go live at Pemberley.
Ugh, can we? Let's go. I'm
Let's
ready.
go with your Mr. Darcy. We like a good visual here.
Yes.
Metaphor.
Yeah. So if you are wanting to explore your creativity more and explore yourself, we are your champions.
For sure. You're doing great.
Yes,
We're so proud of
here's your
you.
permission slip. We want you to go forth and conquer.
Yeah, and you are
And
not alone
yeah,
in those emotional struggles, the limiting beliefs. You're not alone. There's so many people that are probably going through very
I
similar
mean,
situations.
we
And
all are,
yeah,
we all are.
we've been there
Yeah, in our
and
own
we're going to continue
ways.
being there.
That's right. So we love you. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time. That's it for today, friend. Thanks for spending this time with us. We hope you're leaving with a little more light, a little more peace, and maybe even a nudge to go be creative, just because it brings a little more joy to your life. If anything in this episode spoke to your heart, sparked a thought, or made you smile, we'd love it if you'd follow the show, leave a quick 5-star review, or share it with someone who might need a little creative encouragement too. And remember, your creativity matters. Your voice matters. You matter. We're cheering you on always. Until next time, keep making, keep softening, and keep showing up as your whole beautiful self.